working at ESPN. We all know the news right now. No need to delay the obvious. My man Ryan Clark for ESPN is gone. He was let go by ESPN yesterday. There's a lot of noise circulating throughout social media and beyond about how he found out. He was on the air doing NFL Live when he was notified, and various reports out there were saying that, ESPN was concerned as a result of knowing that the information had leaked, that he would find out while he was on the air from somebody else, so they wanted to make sure he heard from them or whatever. I don't know all those details. And to be quite honest with you, I don't care. What I care about is that my brother, Ryan Clark, a person that I consider to be arguably the best NFL analyst in America, is no longer a member of ESPN. And I can't even tell y'all how much that hurts. He's a man, so he's going to handle it the way men do. And we understand that. But I'm going to miss him. I am not happy about this decision one bit. The bosses know I'm not happy about this decision. I've made that very, very clear. But it's also important that myself and anybody else in the world of business be grown-ups and understand that these are the kind of things that happen when layoffs happen. It's Tuesday, and by the end of this day, you're going to hear about a lot more folks getting laid off. People that are my colleagues, my contemporaries. For all I know, and I don't know the names yet, but for all I know, some more of my friends are going to be gone. You have to get to a point where you recognize what being an adult in the room is all about. When we think about ESPN, first of all, let me be very, very clear. I can disagree with my employers. What you're not going to get me to do is insult my employers. Business is business. And whether we like it or not, those people who made the decisions, whether it's a Ryan Clark or a host of other people, are paid to make those decisions. It's in an enviable position to be in. It ain't the days when ESPN could just hire and hire and hire some more without ever having to let go or lay off anybody. Those days are long gone. I'm looking at notes here, and I'm thinking about May of 2013, when ESPN laid off 400 employees, 5% of its workforce.
You won't believe how fast this story exploded, because it's become one of the biggest media controversies in just the last 24 hours. Stephen A. Smith decided to jump into the conversation after reports spread that Ryan Clark was allegedly removed from ESPN while NFL Live was still on the air, disappearing during a commercial break after the Jaden Daniels segment and never returning, which immediately fueled speculation that he had been fired. That detail alone is what transformed the conversation from a routine round of layoffs into something much more serious, because situations like this simply aren't supposed to happen during a live broadcast. Stephen A. responded with a video lasting more than 17 minutes, and while he showed respect and shared his thoughts, he completely missed the issue that has everyone talking. The reason this story keeps going viral isn't because someone lost a job, since layoffs happen across every major company and everybody understands that reality. Ryan Clark built a respected career, earned a massive following, and worked for one of the biggest sports networks in the world, so of course people were always going to react. ESPN and Disney have enormous reach, which guarantees any move involving a high-profile personality will dominate headlines almost instantly. Nobody enjoys seeing people lose their jobs, because employees are expected to give notice before leaving, yet companies rarely extend that same courtesy when they decide to let someone go. But that's still not the part that's driving this conversation. What people are focused on is the way it allegedly happened, and that's where the criticism toward ESPN has intensified. If you're going to spend nearly 20 minutes discussing the situation, viewers expect you to confront the biggest question instead of dancing around it. Saying you don't want to criticize your bosses doesn't erase the fact that your bosses are exactly who the public is questioning right now. How does a company allow something this chaotic to unfold when decisions like these are usually planned well in advance? Nobody seriously believes executives woke up that morning and suddenly decided to make such a major move without preparation, because choices like this are typically made long before cameras start rolling. That's why so many people believe the backlash is about how a longtime employee was treated, regardless of whether they agreed with every opinion he ever shared. Those circumstances naturally lead to speculation that the handling of the situation may have been intentional and meant to send a message, leaving ESPN to deal with the public fallout. No individual is ever bigger than an organization, and that's simply how business works. Even the most powerful corporations operate with enormous influence, deep relationships, and the ability to shape narratives because of the resources they control. But having power doesn't place anyone above criticism when viewers believe something was handled poorly. To make matters even more interesting, reports claim that just days earlier, Ryan Clark had been seen at Fanatics Fest alongside top executives, with everything appearing completely normal on the surface. That's why Stephen A's defense hasn't convinced everyone, especially after fans remembered his own comments about showing up every day with the goal of making his bosses more money, and now those words are being brought right back into the spotlight.
Because I woke up one day in 2010 and I say, I know exactly what the hell has been wrong with me, and I figured it out. And I wake up every day, how do I make my bosses more money? How do I get some of it? Now, I haven't always been successful. I haven't always been successful. There's a few people in here that were my bosses that I thought I could have done a better job for, and I'm sorry I wasn't as good as I.
Now those comments are coming right back around, and people are simply calling the situation exactly how they see it. Instead of directly addressing the biggest concern, Stephen A's response felt like a lot of careful wording designed to signal that he wasn't happy while also making sure the executives knew he still understood the business side of things. Sure, everyone understands that layoffs happen and nobody is pretending otherwise. The real issue is the way it allegedly unfolded, with Ryan Clark reportedly being taken off the air while viewers were still watching the show in real time, and that's the part people can't get past. I wasn't even watching the broadcast myself, but the internet immediately lit up with claims that he disappeared during the show and was already being reported as fired. That naturally raises another huge question. Who leaked the information so quickly, and why did it reach the public before everything was officially explained? There's been plenty of speculation, including people bringing up previous controversies involving ESPN, but the truth is, nobody outside the company knows exactly why everything unfolded this way. Right now, Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith are widely viewed as the biggest faces of ESPN, and many believe the network is restructuring around its highest-profile personalities. Budget cuts have been discussed for months, and if you've been paying attention to the media landscape, you already know traditional sports television is facing a completely different reality today. Independent platforms are exploding, and someone like Ryan Clark already has the pivot and other opportunities that allow him to connect directly with his audience without relying on a major network. That's exactly why legacy broadcasters are facing more competition than ever, because fans can now get analysis, opinions, and insider conversations from podcasts, YouTube channels, and even athletes running their own shows. ESPN no longer controls the conversation the way it once did, which is why many believe the company is becoming more selective about the personalities it chooses to build around. Even with all of that being true, none of it changes the criticism surrounding how this situation was allegedly handled, because that's what has people talking the most. At the end of the day, viewers aren't just debating the decision itself, they're questioning whether the process showed enough professionalism and respect. Let me know where you stand on the entire situation, because this story is far from over. We've got plenty more to break down, and you definitely don't want to miss what's coming next.